What if I told you there's one skill that every single person living past 90 has mastered, and it has nothing to do with diet or exercise? I recently stumbled upon something fascinating while researching communities with the highest concentration of people living past 100. It wasn't their diets that stood out, though yes, they eat well. It wasn't their exercise routines, though they stay active. The real secret weapon, boundary setting. These long livers have mastered the art of what I call fence-mending diplomacy. They understand that healthy boundaries aren't walls that isolate people. They're well-maintained fences that actually make better neighbors and stronger relationships. Think about it, when you've lived through 8, 9, even 10 decades, you've had plenty of time to figure out what works in relationships and what doesn't. These elders have what I call boundary bliss, that peaceful state where you've learned to say no without guilt, yes with enthusiasm, and maintain relationships without losing yourself in the process. Let me give you a concrete example. I spoke with a 94-year-old woman named Alina who told me about her weekly family dinners. Every Sunday, her entire extended family gathers at her home. But here's her boundary rule. Everyone helps clean up, and by 8 p.m. sharp, she politely but firmly says, "I love you all, but this 94-year-old needs her rest." No arguments, no guilt trips, just clear, respectful boundaries that everyone honors. That's fence mending in action. She's not pushing people away, she's creating a structure that actually allows the relationship to flourish because everyone knows the expectations. Another gentleman I met, 97-year-old Samuel, shared how he handles difficult conversations with his adult children. Instead of avoiding tough topics or letting resentment build, he's developed what he calls the porch talk rule. Any serious discussion happens on his front porch in rocking chairs with a timer set for 20 minutes. This creates a container for the conversation, a boundary that prevents it from spiraling into hours of unproductive arguing. After 20 minutes, they take a break and regroup later if needed. Genius, right? This is the kind of wisdom that comes from decades of trial and error. These long livers have discovered that boundaries aren't about control, they're about creating space for authenticity. They've learned that saying, "I can't help with that right now," is more loving than saying yes and building resentment. They understand that "I need some time to think about that" is wiser than making impulsive decisions that affect relationships. The beautiful thing about this boundary wisdom is that it's not complicated. It's about clear communication, consistency, and compassion for yourself and others. These elders have figured out that boundaries actually deepen intimacy because they create safety. When people know where they stand with you, trust grows. When expectations are clear, misunderstandings decrease. This is what leads to what I call boundary bliss, that sweet spot where you're connected to others but not consumed by them, where you give generously but not sacrificially, where you're available but not on demand 24/7. The most surprising finding, this boundary mastery appears to directly contribute to their longevity. Studies of blue zones, those regions with unusually high numbers of centenarians, show that reduced stress from healthy relationships is a key factor. When you're not constantly drained by boundary violations, your emotional and physical health improves dramatically. So how can you start implementing this fence-mending wisdom today? First, identify one relationship where boundaries feel fuzzy. Maybe it's with a coworker who consistently oversteps, or a family member who makes demands on your time. Next, practice what these elders call the graceful no. This isn't about being harsh, it's about being clear. "I'd love to help, but I need to prioritize my family time this weekend," or "I appreciate you thinking of me, but I don't have capacity for new projects right now." Finally, remember that boundaries are living things, they need maintenance. Just like these long livers who literally mend fences in their communities, relationship boundaries require occasional check-ins and adjustments. The payoff? More energy, less resentment, deeper connections, and who knows, maybe even adding years to your life. These elders aren't just surviving into their 90s and beyond, they're thriving. And a big part of that thriving comes from the peaceful space created by well-tended boundaries. What's one boundary you've set that transformed a relationship? Share your fence-mending wisdom in the comments below.